Chosen one. Pause and listen with the deepest part within you. Because the time has come for you to understand why you have always experienced life with a depth that not everyone recognizes. From a very young age, you knew there was something different about you, but you did not have enough words to name it. You sensed the atmosphere before words were spoken, recognized sadness behind a smile, and often knew that a place no longer belonged to you before any visible sign appeared. Many times, you wondered whether you were overthinking, whether this sensitivity was merely a burden or something that made it difficult for you to belong. But I want you to receive this truth calmly. You were not created incorrectly. You simply carry a profound capacity to perceive. And that ability must be nurtured through wisdom so that it becomes light rather than anxiety that exhausts you. For a long time, you lived with the feeling that something was being withheld. You watched others move forward, receive answers, and walk through doors that seemed to open easily, while you remained surrounded by delay and silence. This sometimes caused you to believe that you had been ignored, that your desires were not important enough, or that you had made a mistake that caused life to refuse you a path. But, my child, not every delay is rejection. Some things are withheld because you need more time to become steady enough to receive them. A gift arriving too early may become a burden. A door opening before you possess discernment may lead you into a place where you lose yourself. I did not watch your pain with indifference. I was protecting you from receiving something greater than your ability to preserve during the former season. The silence you endured was not entirely empty. During the days when no answer came, you learned how to hear yourself more clearly. When applause disappeared, you began distinguishing what you genuinely believed from choices made only to please others. When people who promised to remain eventually left, you were forced to discover that your strength could not depend forever upon their presence. When familiar affirmation was no longer available, you learned how to continue doing what was right, even when no one could see. These lessons were not pleasant, but they built a foundation within you that comfort could never have created. You learned to remain steady without requiring the entire room to agree, to preserve integrity when misunderstood, and to treat kindly even those who could offer you nothing in return. From the beginning, you found it difficult to belong completely in places where truth was diluted. You attempted to make your thoughts smaller, conceal what you sensed, and remain silent before what you knew was wrong, merely to be accepted. Yet the more you forced yourself to fit into shallow spaces, the more restricted your heart became. Some conversations exhausted you, not because you were proud, but because they continually revolved around judgment, pretensi, and things that did not nourish growth. Some relationships ended not because you were incapable of loving, but because you could no longer betray your values to preserve an insincere closeness. Do not call this difference rebellion. You are simply learning not to surrender your life to things that dim what is good within you. The closed doors that once caused you pain must also be viewed through a different light. There were places you begged to enter, but if they had opened before you understood your worth, you might have accepted treatment beneath what you deserved. There were people you tried desperately to keep, but if they had remained, you might never have learned how to establish boundaries or care for yourself. There were roads that appeared secure from the outside, yet the closer you came, the more suffocated you felt because they required you to live a life that did not belong to you. I was not destroying your comfort. I was protecting your calling from being buried beneath a life that appeared stable but left you completely empty within. You passed through a precise form of pressure in which every delay, disappointment, and betrayal forced you to confront what had not yet been healed. When others failed to recognize you, you had to learn not to deny yourself. When they withdrew their promises, you learned not to place your entire future in human words. When no reward appeared, despite all your effort, you were required to answer a difficult question. Would you continue living with integrity only when rewarded? Or because integrity was truly part of the person you wanted to become? Your strength was formed within choices no one witnessed. It is no longer a loud strength that must prove itself, but a steadiness that knows when to bow and learn, when to stand upright after being diminished, and when to leave after respect has disappeared. I also saw the way you responded to disappointment. There were times when you stumbled, times when you spoke from pain, and days when you nearly abandoned everything good. But you did not build a home within those moments. You knew how to return, apologize, make changes, and continue seeking light. This is what reveals your readiness. Maturity does not mean that you never make mistakes. It means that power, pain, and approval can no longer transform you into someone unrecognizable to your own values. I am teaching your nervous system to endure pressure without reacting immediately, to receive success without becoming arrogant, and to carry responsibility without losing compassion. Therefore, when something better is placed into your hands, it will not easily intoxicate you until you forget who you are. You know what it means to feel unseen. So you will not use influence to make others feel invisible. You once needed a kind word and did not receive it. So you will know how to strengthen the person trembling behind a powerful appearance. You were once judged before anyone understood the whole story. So you will slow down before judging another person. What you endured is becoming preparation for using your gifts humbly. Genuine authority does not place you above everyone else. It makes you steady enough to serve without praise, clouding your vision, and without criticism, causing you to abandon what is right. Still, do not turn every hardship into a mystical sign or believe that you must endure everything silently. Sometimes the tension in your chest is simply telling you that you need rest, support, or distance from an environment that continually causes uneasiness. Sensitivity does not replace practical judgment. I gave you intuition, but I also gave you wisdom, healthy boundaries, and trustworthy people who can help you understand clearly. If something continues exhausting you, care for yourself instead of taking pride in your ability to endure. You are not being prepared to carry every burden in the world. You are being prepared to recognize which burdens belong to you, which should be shared, and which need to be released completely. The truth now being revealed is not that you are greater than anyone, but that you no longer need to live beneath your genuine self. You do not need to continue making yourself smaller to be loved, pretending not to see wrongdoing in order to belong, or betraying your peace to remain in a place that does not value you. Enter the new season with gentleness and firmness. Listen without absorbing every voice. Love without losing boundaries. Serve without forgetting rest. And receive opportunities without selling your dignity. I was beside you in childhood when you did not understand your difference. Through silent seasons, when you believed you were forgotten. And during every exhausting day, when you still refused to become bitter. Now you are mature enough to understand. You were not held back to be abandoned. You were preserved so that when the time arrived, you could step forward with clear eyes, a steady heart, and hands pure enough to carry something great without allowing it to distort you. You are standing before the final test of a long season, where what is being measured is not your strength, but your ability to continue trusting while external circumstances have not yet changed. I heard the nights when you tearfully asked how much longer you would have to wait, how many more disappointments you would endure, and how many closed doors you still had to face. You believed silence meant that your prayers had not been heard. But within that silence, a hidden work was taking place. You are no longer being asked whether you possess enough strength to fight again. You are simply being invited to preserve peace without seeing the entire result. Continue living uprightly without guarantees, and trust that what is being prepared does not require your panic in order to appear. This test is not intended to exhaust you further. It is the final step that teaches you to stop depending upon visible signs to decide whether you are supported. I am no longer standing at the beginning of your preparation. Movements intended for you began before you recognized that the former season was ending. People, resources, and circumstances are being placed into their proper positions beyond your present view. A solution is approaching through a road entirely different from the one you imagined. Therefore, do not reveal every feeling to people who lack the depth to protect what you are hoping for. Not everything precious needs to be announced before it matures. Some seeds grow best in quietness, away from ridicule, doubt, and opinions that create additional confusion. What is about to open carries such a personal mark from your journey that outsiders may see only an ordinary change. While you will immediately recognize every detail as an answer to prayers spoken in your most private moments, those who believed you would never rise may not understand what is happening. Those who mocked your perseverance may become confused when they watch you pass through a door they cannot control. But do not use the change to prove that you were right or to make anyone ashamed. When goodness comes, allow it to make you more humble rather than proud. I am not lifting you so that you can stand above others. I am bringing you out of restriction so that you can live more generously, wisely, and with a greater ability to support others. A genuine answer does not turn the heart into a place that nurtures revenge. It causes you to look back upon painful days with gratitude that you refused to let them make you bitter. Those who opposed you do not need to be defeated by your words. Your peace, maturity, and the good results in your life will become a clear enough answer. This time, you do not need to rush into another battle to seize what is coming. You have become accustomed to struggling until you are exhausted, believing that every gift must be purchased through pain, and every door opens only when you push with all your strength. But some things cannot be forced. They can only be received when your hands stop clenching and your mind stops attempting to control every result. Perform your part with honesty, disciplina, and wisdom. Then place what exceeds your ability back into my hands. You do not need to keep knocking upon doors already confirmed as unsuitable for you. The right door will not require you to betray your dignity, chase acceptance, or exchange peace in order to enter. It may require courage and responsibility, but it will not make you increasingly unfamiliar with the good person being restored within you. The door I open is not built upon unstable human favor, so it does not depend upon who agrees or objects. Those who once possessed the authority to block you in the former season may no longer hold the key to the new one. A rejection from the past cannot determine every future opportunity. One former mistake has no right to imprison you forever within shame. What I am building rests upon the maturity you have gained, the lessons you have received, and the integrity you preserved under pressure. When the time comes, you will recognize that many delays were not intended to torment you, but to ensure that the door opened when you were steady enough to pass through without destroying what you received. I do not care only about giving you an opportunity. I am also preparing you with enough wisdom to manage it, enough humility not to lose yourself, and enough patience to build lasting results. The financial release you have hoped for should not be interpreted as permission to spend carelessly or believe that every problem will disappear within one moment. I am leading you toward a new form of stewardship in which fear no longer controls decisions. Scarcity no longer causes impulsive action, and former wounds no longer drive you to use money in pursuit of recognition. Help may arrive through a professional opportunity, a valuable idea, a repayment, the right connection, or the wisdom that prevents a damaging choice. Whatever form it takes, it will come with responsibility. I do not want only to help you pay the expenses that have kept you awake. I want you to learn how to build a stable foundation. Save wisely. Distinguish needs from desires, and use resources to care for what truly matters. The restoration I am leading you into will not touch only one isolated area. You lost more than money. You lost sleep, confidence, the capacity for joy, and sometimes even the belief that life could become gentler. Therefore, you need more than financial compensation. You need the restoration of order from within. I am teaching you how to rest without guilt, hope without immediately preparing for disappointment, and receive goodness without suspecting that another event is coming to take it away. The years behind you cannot literally return, but what you learned from them can make the years ahead deeper and more valuable. Time once consumed by fear can be redeemed through days lived with awareness. Joy that was buried can return through safe relationships, healthy choices, and peace that no longer depends entirely upon circumstances. I know you remained awake last night because of many concerns. Perhaps you worried about health, family, work, or a problem for which you have not found a solution. I do not promise that every question will be answered according to the schedule you desire, but I remind you that you are not facing each one alone. Help may already be nearer than you think, but you need enough calmness to recognize it. Do not reject a helping hand merely because it did not come from the person you expected. Do not dismiss a small solution because you are waiting for something spectacular. Restoration often begins with practical steps, an appointment that must be made, advice that needs to be heard, a plan that must be rewritten, or a habit that requires change. A miracle does not always remove responsibility. Often it gives you the strength and clarity to fulfill responsibility in a new way. What was refused may return, not in its original form, but in something more suitable. An old opportunity may never come back, yet a wider road may open. A relationship that ended may not be restored, but you may meet people who value and respect you more deeply. A former plan may not be reconstructed exactly, but through its collapse, you may discover a more truthful direction. Do not limit restoration by demanding that the past return exactly as it was. Some things that were lost need to remain in the past, because what is restored is not the former object, but the dignity, clarity, and power of choice that were once wounded. You do not need to recover everything that left in order to prove that you have been restored. Sometimes, the highest form of restoration is no longer desiring to retrieve what once cost you, your peace. Do not treat grace as a product you must purchase through perfection. I heard you through awkward prayers, sighs that could not become sentences, and moments when you possessed only enough strength to whisper that you needed help. You cannot manipulate this door, nor can an external action force it to open. What you can do is continue living with integrity, receive guidance, and refuse to allow despair to push you into choices that contradict your values. Your faith is not a tool for controlling heaven. It is an anchor that keeps you from being swept away when the sea becomes violent. That perseverance helped you remain here, preserved your ability to trust, and kept you willing to enter a new chapter. I, Michael, I'm standing beside you to remind you to guard the doorway of your mind, because that is where fear often attempts to return. Protection does not exist only in invisible things surrounding you, but also in your ability to reject destructive thoughts, leave unsafe places, and seek appropriate support. Messengers of light do not make decisions for you, but their peace helps you see more clearly what must be chosen. Continue to remain attentive, not through tension, but through calm trust. You do not need to search for every sign or interpret each event as a secret message. What is genuine will be confirmed through good fruit, clarity, and the stability it brings. Therefore, stop looking behind you as though former things still possess the authority to pursue you and pull you back. The final test is not whether you can endure more pain, but whether you will allow peace to become your new condition. Can you trust a good day without immediately predicting the next disaster? Can you receive help without feeling weak? Can you pass through an open door without carrying every habit from the former room? Put the burden down. Receive with gratitude and walk with responsibility. Help is no longer merely a distant thing for which you continue watching. It is beginning to appear through small movements around you. The door has opened, and your part is to walk through it with humility, wisdom, and trust that the former season is no longer permitted to define the days ahead. You do not need everyone to understand or agree immediately with your path. What you must preserve is faithfulness to what I placed within your heart. At first, some will look at you with doubt. Some will quietly mock you, and others will attempt to interpret your choices unfairly. They see only one small part of the journey, while I saw the entire road before you took the first step. Therefore, do not spend your strength attempting to convince everyone that you are moving in the right direction. A seed does not need to argue with the soil about what it will become. It needs only to remain in the right place. Take root quietly and allow time to reveal the life growing within. You are the same. What I am building may not yet be visible to others, but their lack of understanding cannot erase the purpose planted within you. Some will question your motives because they know only your former version, the one who retreated easily when support disappeared, changed decisions because of fear of judgment, and reduced dreams to make others comfortable. But you are no longer called to live beneath the shadow of those expectations. I am teaching you to walk in clarity, without arrogance and without fear. You can listen to sincere guidance without turning every voice into a command. You can humbly correct what is wrong without abandoning what I have confirmed. Genuine obedience does not mean trying to prove that you are special. It means continuing to do what is right when there is no applause, preserving purity while misunderstood, and moving forward while the road is still covered in mist. A time will come when the results speak for you. What is called unrealistic today may become evidence tomorrow that you saw what others could not yet see. Quiet steps, unknown hours of preparation, and every refusal to compromise, despite personal loss, will gradually become a foundation that is difficult to shake. When the right door opens, you will not need to turn around and mock those who doubted you. Allow humility to protect your heart when you are lifted. The purpose of confirmation is not for you to defeat others, but to reveal that faithfulness was never meaningless. Some who once failed to understand may begin to reconsider. Not because you force them to admit anything, but because peace, consistency, and good fruit within your life become too clear to deny. Therefore, move more deeply into your purpose. Do not allow fear to stand at the threshold and tell you that you are not strong enough. Fear often appears immediately before turning points, not because failure is certain, but because you are leaving what is familiar. It will remind you of former mistakes, magnify every risk, and make you believe that remaining still is the only safe choice. But remaining in a place I have told you to leave is not peace. It is delay disguised as caution. You do not need to rush carelessly, but neither can you allow doubt to continue without end. Prepare carefully. Pray with wisdom. And when you recognize the step you need to take, move forward calmly. You were trained through seasons whose meaning you did not understand. Repeated beginnings taught you not to place all hope in one door. Rejection taught you to distinguish genuine worth from temporary approval. Seasons of scarcity taught you management. Separation taught you boundaries. And periods of silence taught you to listen deeply rather than search only for loud signs. You believed you were merely surviving each day, but endurance was being formed, discernment sharpened, and courage strengthened. Therefore, you do not enter the new season with empty hands. You carry lessons purchased through tears, boundaries built through experience, and a heart that has learned to remain tender without being easily manipulated. The coming days will matter not only for you, but may also influence your family and those placed near your life. When one person changes the way they think, manage, and choose, an entire household can begin moving in another direction. Your healing may interrupt a pattern carried through many years. Your financial wisdom may create a foundation that prevents the next generation from beginning amid chaos. Learning to speak gently, establish boundaries, and refuse to react in anger may transform the atmosphere of your entire family. Therefore, do not underestimate the small things you do each day. One corrected habit, one better managed expense, one calm conversation, or one decision to leave something harmful may become the first stone within a structure far greater than you imagine. I want you to hold firmly to what has been revealed, but not with tension. Hold it as a farmer holds a seed. Protect it. Care for it. But do not dig it up every day to see whether it has grown. Some plans must be nurtured in silence before they are announced. Not everyone is mature enough to hear what you are building without planting additional fear. Share with those who possess wisdom, respect, and the ability to help you see more clearly. Do not place what is still tender into the hands of people who only criticize. You do not need to hide because of fear, but neither must you tell everything to everyone. Proper privacy protects your focus and prevents you from living according to external reactions. The time is converging. But do not turn urgency into panic. Some opportunities will arrive quickly, and you will need enough awareness to recognize them. Some invitations will appear highly attractive, but will not belong to you. And you will need enough peace to decline. Favor does not always appear as a miracle that amazes everyone. Sometimes it is a timely encounter, an unexpected idea, someone willing to open a door, or one decision that helps you avoid loss. Keep your eyes open, but do not chase everything that shines. What genuinely belongs will not require you to betray your principles, live carelessly, or lose clarity. Proper guidance may require courage, but it will not make you a slave to chaos. During this season, peace will become a protective boundary around you. Peace does not mean that you do nothing, nor does it indicate indifference. It is an inward condition that allows you to act without being controlled by panic. When anxiety appears, do not allow it to tell you hundreds of frightening endings. Bring each concern before me honestly. Speak your needs. Acknowledge what you do not know. And remember the times you were protected. Gratitude does not erase difficulty, but it prevents your mind from seeing only what is missing. When you pray and put down the burden, I may not immediately give you the entire answer, but I will give you enough clarity for the next step. Allow peace to guard your words, because some things spoken through anxiety create consequences that require a long time to repair. Allow it to protect your decisions, so that you do not sign, promise, or enter a relationship merely because you fear missing an opportunity. Allow it to preserve your heart from comparison, because when you look too long at another person's progress, you will begin to despise what is growing within you. Every person carries a different timing, responsibility, and path. What belongs to someone else does not take away what belongs to you. You need only remain faithful to what is before you and refuse to let noise pull you away from the rhythm that is right for your journey.